Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar titled Bluefields Climate Smart and Resilient Assessment. So I am Daniel Griffiths, and I'll be your moderator for this engaging and insightful session. So it's really a pleasure to have all you guys joining here, whether you're tuning in from Jamaica, across the Caribbean, or elsewhere. It's really a pleasure to have you guys here. And today's discussion will explore how climate smart practices can really strengthen our coastal livelihoods. So we'll shed on the valuable insights from the Bluefields resilience assessment and how data-driven analysis supports sustainable planning. So it's really a great privilege to be here once again. So we'll be going on a journey really with our speaker. So let's get this going, shall we? So our speaker today will be Mr. Hopeton Ferguson. So he's the Vice President of the Strategic Solutions Business Unit here at Spatial Innovation. And Mr. Hopeton is an experienced professional in GIS. He's seasoned with strategic solutions. He has a passion for leveraging data and innovation to drive sustainable development across the region. So without further ado, let's introduce Mr. Hopeton Ferguson. I pass the back to you, Mr. Hopeton.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much, Daniel, for that wonderful introduction. Good morning to all the participants of our webinar today. And we have persons joining us from all over the Caribbean, all over Jamaica, all over the world. So welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining. I love GIS. Do you love GIS? Let me see the hands of those who love GIS. We're going to do a poll today. So you can just answer the question in a poll so we can see how many persons love GIS. Okay, so we have a number of persons loving GIS, 43%, but 43% also really love GIS. Of course, we love GIS. That's awesome. We have 14% not sure. That's all right. Hopefully by the end of this webinar, you will love GIS. I don't know if you have heard, but let me see the hands of those who have heard of the Bluefields digital twin. So you can just put your answer there if you have heard of the Bluefields digital twin. Okay, so 89% have never heard of the Bluefields digital twin, while 11% of persons have heard of it. So today we're going to talk about the Bluefields climate smart and resilient settlement, which looks at how we manage or build resilience using digital twin. So the Bluefields Climate Smart and Resilient project is a project from the Harnessing Innovative Technology to Support Resilient Settlement and the Coastal Zone of the Caribbean, the Hit Reset project, Hit Reset Caribbean. The granting authority The University of the West Indies, in partnership with the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency and the University of Suriname. So the Hit Reset Caribbean is co-funded by the ACP Innovation Fund, the OACPS Research and Innovation Program, and program implemented by the Organization of Africa, Caribbean and Pacific States, with the financial contribution of the European Union. So just to introduce to you a bit, the project team, the Bluefields Climate Smart and Resilient Settlement Project brings together a multidisciplinary team of experts who are committed to transforming coastal community resilience across the Caribbean. Our collaborative approach combines regional planning, urban development, community engagement, and cutting-edge technology to deliver sustainable solutions. So our project team consists of the project leaders, Dr. Silburn Clark, who is the chair of the committee, Mr. Roshan Clark, who is our visibility coordinator and the co-chair, Hopeton Ferguson, which is myself, as a project manager, Ms. Nikisha Lindsay, the project coordinator, and Ms. Angeline and Dwight Aston as a financial controller. The community planners are Diana McIntyre Pike, which is our community tourism development person, Mrs. Jacqueline DaCosta, our sociologist, Martin Addington, regional planner, Rosario Gusti, our urban planner, and Calvert Thomas, our sustainability coordinator. On the technical side, we have Ricardo Cuberos, our solution architect, and Edgar Diaz, our solution engineer, and Nicola Simpson-Lake, our GIS specialist. On the environmental side, and environmental data, we have Eleanor Terrelong, Everett Johnson, and Sabrina Marshall. So this project has a number of partners, and the success of the Bluefields Climate Smart and Resilient Settlement Project relies on strategic partnership spanning government agency, community organization, and private sector innovators. And these collaborative relationships ensure comprehensive support for sustainable coastal development initiatives. So we have the Community Foundation as partner, which is the Bluefields Community and the Benevolent Society. We also have government agencies such as the National Environmental Planning Agency, Westmoreland Municipal Corporation, and the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. We also have development organizations such as the Ministry of Tourism, Urban Development Corporation, National Spatial Data Management Division, and our technical partners, Spatial Innovation and Esri Venezuela. So this comprehensive partnership network combines local knowledge with institutional expertise, ensuring that climate resilient solutions are both technically sound, and culturally appropriate for the Bluefields community. Just to give you a bit of the background on the Bluefields community, the Bluefields community represent a quintessential small coastal settlement, which is located in the parish of Westmoreland, South Jamaica. And this vibrant fishing community embodies the challenges and opportunities facing Caribbean coastal zone in an era of climate change. The community demographics is pretty much balanced, strong community leadership, active workforce participation, very young and dynamic population. So the total population is just under 4,000 persons, with a male just under 2,000 and female just under 2,000, an average age of 31 years. As a traditional fishing community, Bluefields is particularly susceptible to natural hazards typical throughout Jamaica and the broader Caribbean region. The community's economic foundation depends heavily on marine resources, making climate resilience essential for long-term sustainability. So in looking at the climate vulnerabilities and community response, the impact of natural hazards on Bluefield extends beyond immediate physical damage to homes and critical facility infrastructure during hurricane, flooding, tropical storm, and severe rainfall events. These climate impacts create a cascading effect throughout the community, social and economic system. So in terms of infrastructure damage, you have hurricane flooding and a tropical storm regularly damage residential structures and essential community infrastructure, disrupting daily life and economic activity. Also economic disruption. So both natural and human-induced hazard interrupt marine activities, leading to depleted fish stocks and reduced fishing community for local livelihood. In terms of environmental degradation, the declining fish habitats, environmental deterioration, and increased pollution levels threaten the long-term sustainability of marine resources. So despite these challenges, the community of Bluefield has proactively organized itself to develop comprehensive proactive strategies for its locality, working collaboratively with Jamaican authorities and international stakeholders to build resilience. The community is recognized for its resilience. It has won the best community competition, and in 2025, it is also the winner of ESRI Special Achievement in GIS Award, the SAG Award. So just to say a little bit about the project, its objective is to develop Bluefield as climate smart and resilient coastal settlement. And this ambitious goal requires an integrated approach that harnesses knowledge, skills, and resources from citizens, government agencies, and private institutions to create sustainable solutions for coastal climate challenges. So objective number one looks at designing and building a digital twin of Bluefields, which develop advanced digital modeling capabilities to analyze, to predict, and to respond effectively to climate change impacts and natural disasters. This innovative technology platform will serve as a foundation for evidence-based decision-making and proactive community planning. Objective number two, to develop community risk management platform. So this is done to create an integrated stakeholder engagement system that promotes sustainable coastal development through collaborative risk management, community participation, and coordinated response strategies across all levels of governance. These interconnected objectives will transform Bluefields into a model for climate resilience coastal development through the Caribbean region, demonstrating how innovative technology can support community-driven adaptation strategies. So what we're looking at is a system of system architecture. The Bluefields Climate Smart and Resilient Settlement operates through an integrated system of systems that coordinates multiple technological and institutional components into a unified platform for climate resilience management. This approach ensures scalability, interoperability, and sustainability. So the system of system consists of the system of record. And this is the foundational data layer that captures, stores, and manage all community information, including the infrastructure mapping, environmental monitoring data, demographic information, and historical climate events. This system ensures data accuracy, accessibility, and long-term preservation for evidence-based decision making. Then we have the system of insights. It's the advanced analytics and modeling capabilities that transform raw data into actionable intelligence through predictive modeling, risk assessment algorithm, scenario planning tools, and impact analysis. This system enables proactive rather than reactive approaches to climate resilience planning. And thirdly, we have the system of engagement. This is where the community-facing interfaces and participation tools that connect residents, stakeholders, and decision makers through mobile applications, web portals, communication platforms, and collaborative planning tools. This system ensures democratic participation in resilience planning process. This system architecture creates a comprehensive digital ecosystem that supports all aspects of community climate resilience, from data collection to analysis to community engagement and implementation of adaptation strategies. Technology and implementation and innovation. So transforming coastal resilience through cutting-edge technology solution. The Bluefields project leveraged state-of-the-art technology, including Internet of Things, sensors, artificial intelligence, machine learning algorithm, and cloud computing platform to create a comprehensive climate resilience ecosystem. So first of all, we have the phase one, the foundational phase, which deploys sensor network, establish data collection protocols, and build community partnership focused on creating robust data infrastructure and stakeholder engagement framework. Secondly, we have the integration, which develop digital twin model, implement predictive analytics, and launch community participation platform, integrate multiple data streams, and begin scenario modeling. Then the next stage would be, our next phase would be optimization, and that's refining the model based on real-world testing, expand community engagement tools, and prepare for regional replication focus on long-term sustainability and impact measures. After phase three, we have phase four, which is the scaling up phase of the project. And this looks at documenting lessons learned, creating replication guidelines, and support implementation in other Caribbean coastal communities. Establish regional knowledge sharing network. So in looking at the digital twin technology implementation, the digital twin represents a revolutionary approach to community planning and climate resilience. This sophisticated virtual replica of Bluefields enable real-time monitoring, predictive modeling, and scenario planning for various climate events and development strategies. So first we had the data collection, which is a comprehensive mapping and sensor deployment through the community to capture real-time environmental infrastructure and social data. We had a modeling model development step rather, which is the creation of detailed 3D virtual environment incorporating topographic buildings, infrastructure, and environmental systems. Now we have the predictive analysis, and that's the advanced algorithm analyzing climate patterns, flood risk, and community vulnerabilities to inform decision making. After which we have the community integration, and this is where the user-friendly interface enabling community members and stakeholders to interact with and benefit from digital twin insights. So the technology platform will serve as the foundation for evidence-based community planning, enabling proactive rather than reactive responses to climate changes while preserving the unique character and needs of the Bluefields community. So looking at the risk management platform, the community risk management platform represents a comprehensive digital ecosystem designed to integrate multiple stakeholders, data sources, and decision makers or decision-making processes into a unified framework for coastal resilience management. This platform serves as the operational backbone for coordinated climate adaptation efforts. So we have the early warning system, we have real-time monitoring and alert capabilities that provide advanced notification and climate hazard to community members and emergency response. We had a risk assessment tool which is an automated analysis of vulnerability factor, threat levels, and exposure pattern to support evidence-based risk reduction planning. There is the emergency coordination aspect with streamlined communication and resource coordination protocols that enable rapid response during climate events and disasters. The recovery planning aspect is the post-event assessment tools and recovery planning capabilities that support building back better principles and long-term resilience enhancement. Then we have the adaptive management, and this is the continuous learning and improvement mechanism that incorporate new data, community feedback, and changing conditions into risk management strategies. This integrated platform transforms fragmented risk management approach into a coherent, community-centered system that enhances collective capacity to anticipate, respond to, and recover from climate-related challenges. So what we have is an advanced modeling and simulation set of capabilities. The digital twin employs sophisticated modeling algorithms to simulate various climate scenarios and their impacts on the Bluefields community. These predictive capabilities enable proactive planning and help stakeholders understand potential future under different conditions. So you have the hurricane impact modeling. So you have where there is simulation of storm surge, wind damage, flood patterns to identify vulnerable areas and optimize evacuation routes. Models incorporate historical hurricane data and climate change projections. We have sea level rise projections. So the long-term modeling of sea level rise impact on coastal infrastructure, residential area and community assets scenario include multiple climate change pathway. Then we have the economic impact assessment that can be done using this tool, which quantify economic losses from climate events and evaluate cost-benefit ratios of different adaptation strategies. The model integrate livelihood and dependencies and recovery timeline. Now we have the development scenario planning, where we test different community development pathways to identify optimal strategies that balance growth with resilience, includes infrastructure placement and land use optimization. These modeling capabilities transform complex climate data into actionable insights that community leaders, residents, and external stakeholders can understand and use for informed decision-making about the Bluefields' future development. Here we have the risk scenarios that were modeled. As mentioned before, we have the coastal erosion due to sea level rise, the flood Flooding from storm surge risk scenario, and the landslide steep inland zone risk scenario, and finally the hurricane impact risk scenario. So in looking at the coastal erosion due to sea level, the comparison of NEPA coastal flooding at 1 meter, 5 meters, 10 meters above sea level estimates based on LiDAR data from the digital twin and communities already are affected by potential future shoreline change. Next risk scenario is flooding from storm surge. So a comparison of riverine flooding after a 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours of continuous rainfall with 30 millimeter of precipitation per hour shows the effects on moderately permeable soils and building affected by the flooding scenario and permanent runoff channels. The other risk scenario is landslide in steep inland zone. So assessment of landslide risk based on NEPA's vulnerability and earthquake risk, extreme slopes, ground instability, and building on the potential risk from landslide. And finally, the last risk scenario, which is the hurricane impact infrastructure. Here we have the estimated hurricane force wind on the high north-south oriented plains in the hills and deforested area based on the normalized burnt rate analysis and communities affected by hurricane wind exposure. The platform also allows the community and even outside of the community to get to know each other, who you are or who are we as a community. What do we do? What are we up against, and how can we work together? In this survey that was conducted, we have gathered many of the answers that will guide our actions in planning and making decisions for the development and protection of our community. Here we can see a dashboard of our digital twin. And this was a survey that was done in Bluefields in 2025. And at the time, there were 434 respondents. On the left, the far left, you will see the surveyors, the persons who actually went out with their mobile application. And in the middle, we'll see the points that were collected with information in the survey. And on your right, you will see the summary of the results of those surveys that were taken. Summaries such as gender, building use, recovery, and insurance. Now, if you should click on one of those points on the map, then it gives you a detailed information of the data that was collected and that particular respondent. So all the information that you need to make the decision is right here. So data visualization and decision support is a big aspect of this project. The effective climate resilience planning requires sophisticated data visualization capabilities that translate complex technical information into accessible, actionable insight for diverse stakeholders. Our visualization framework serves multiple user groups from community residents to government officials. There is a 3D community model. That's the interactive three-dimensional representation of Bluefields, showing infrastructure, topography, and environmental feature that enable intuitive exploration of climate scenario. You have the real-time dashboard as you have just seen, which is a live monitoring display showing current environmental conditions, early warning alerts, and community status update, and accessibility through web and mobile platform. Then you have the scenario comparison tool. That's a side-by-side visualization of different climate scenario and adaptation strategies, enabling stakeholders to understand trade-offs and optimize decision making. And we have the participatory map. So the community-friendly interface that allows residents to contribute local knowledge, report issues, and provide input and propose resilience measures through intuitive map-based tools. These visualization tools democratize access to climate information while maintaining scientific rigor, ensuring that all community members can participate meaningfully in resilience planning, regardless of their technical background or expertise level. There was community engagement and participatory planning. So the heart of the Bluefields project lies in its community center approach to climate resilience planning. So rather than imposing external solutions, our methodology prioritizes local knowledge, community priorities, and participatory decision-making processes that ensure sustainable adoption of climate adaptation strategies. So we had community workshops where regular facilitated sessions were where residents share local knowledge, discuss priorities, and provide input on adaptation strategies. These workshops ensure community voices drive project direction. Then we have digital participation tools, such as user-friendly mobile application and web platform, enabling ongoing community feedback, reporting of local conditions, and access to project information and resources. Of course, we have capacity building programs, such as training initiatives that build local technical skills, climate literacy, and leadership capacity to ensure long-term project sustainability and community ownership. There was stakeholder integration, where you had a formal mechanism for coordinating between community members, government agencies, NGOs, and private sectors partner to align resources and efforts. This participatory approach ensures that technology serves community needs rather than driving them, creating a foundation for long-term success and replication across other Caribbean coastal settlements. In terms of capacity building and stakeholder engagement, over 20 individuals were trained across schools, community organization, church, and parish authority. Over 5 training workshops were held, which are comprehensive skill development and mentorship program. And there were over 4 sectors that were engaged, fostering cross-sectoral collaboration. And you'll see the photos of the middle photo of us donating computers to the community. We'll see our trainer with the trainees, we'll see various sessions, and even down to the bottom left, you'll see the very kindergarten, basic school also learning about digital twin, all excited about what it can do for their community. The platform also allows for sharing of information, such as upcoming events. So you click on the date and you enter an event that will be taking place at a particular place at a particular time, so that the community itself can participate in that event. So it's a way of sharing a calendar of events for the community in particular. Also, the platform allows you to know the community better by selecting one of these points or lines on the map and a particular area in the community gives you a video, a drive-through or a video or a photo of what is taking place in that particular location. So you can know the community even before you get into the community. So you have traveling through Bluefields videos shown below, where the Bluefields community is filled with beautiful, very beautiful things. So it's just a matter of just joining us on tour of the Bluefields community. This is mainly the main routes, and we can uncover both the well-known and the hidden gems of the Bluefields community. The platform also has a library of data. Some of these that you're seeing is the Nepal coastal inundation, community impacted by coastal inundation, the digital twin coastal inundation, and flood by heavy rain and storm surge. And there are quite a list of different data sets that the community, the platform allow access. In looking at sustainable development and sustainable development goals, the Bluefields project aligns with multiple sustainable development goals, creating synergies between climate resilience and broader community development objectives. Our approach ensures that climate adaptation measures contribute to improved livelihood, environmental protection, and social equity. So sustainable development integration is paramount. The economic sustainability looks at climate smart fishing practices, ecotourism development, and green infrastructure investment create economic opportunities while building resilience to climate impact. The environmental protection, where you have the ecosystem-based adaptation approaches, protect coastal habitats, improve water quality, and enhance biodiversity, while improving natural climate buffer. The social resilience looks at community capacity building, inclusive of government structures and equitable access to resources, strengthen social cohesion and collective adaptation capacities. This integrated approach ensures that climate resilience investment deliver multiple benefits, creating lasting value for the community while advancing broader sustainability objectives across the Caribbean region. So in looking at the project impact and outcomes, the Bluefields Climate Smart and Resilient Settlement Project generates transformative impact that extend far beyond the immediate community, creating a model for climate resilience that can be adopted and replicated throughout the Caribbean region and other vulnerable coastal areas globally. So you have a community transformation where it enhances local capacity for climate adaptation, improve quality of life, and strengthen social cohesion through participatory resilience planning. Then you have the regional innovation, which demonstrate the scalability or scalable climate technologies and community-centered adaptation approach applicable across the Caribbean coastal settlement. The policy of influence, where evidence-based insights that inform national and regional climate adaptation policies, financial mechanism, and development strategies. And then you have the global knowledge contributing to international climate resilience knowledge base through documented best practice, lessons learned, and replication framework. The Bluefields project represents a paradigm shift in how we approach coastal climate resilience, moving from the reactive disaster response to proactive, community-driven adaptation that represent livelihood while protecting lives and properties. These multi-level impacts create lasting value that justifies the investment while establishing Bluefields as a beacon of innovation in community-centered climate adaptation through the Caribbean region. So in looking at the monitoring and evaluation frame, continuous monitoring and evaluation ensures that Bluefields project delivers intended outcomes while adapting to changing conditions and community needs. Our framework tracks both technical performance and social impact impact indicators across multiple temporal and spatial scale. So on the technical indicators, you have system uptime and reliability metrics, data quality and completeness measure, prediction, accuracy assessment, platform usage and adaptation rate, and integration effectiveness across systems. And the social impact measure, there is a community capability building outcomes, stakeholder satisfaction assessment, knowledge transfer and effectiveness, equitable equity and inclusion in participation, and long-term behavioral change indicators. So on the community participation side, a target of 85% engagement level in resilience planning activities. In early warning effectiveness, we look at a target of 70% reduction in climate event response time. In terms of infrastructure resilience, a target of 60% improvement in critical system performance. Economic recovery speed, a target of 50% faster post-event livelihood restoration. Regular evaluation cycle enables adaptive management approaches that ensure project activities remain aligned with community priorities while maintaining technical excellence and scientific validity through implementation. So in looking at the regional replication and scaling of this project, the success of the Bluefields model creates opportunities for strategic replication across the Caribbean region, where numerous coastal communities face similar climate vulnerabilities and development challenges. Our scaling strategy ensures that lessons learned benefit the broader Caribbean community. So in looking at what the Bluefields regional scaling would look like, there is the technology platform which shares tools for monitoring data and service delivery. The capacity building, which is a training program for local practitioners and communities. Then the knowledge sharing, which is a peer exchange linking Bluefields to coastal partners. And then we have the policy framework, which is a regional guidelines to enable replication and support. It's important to have documentation and standardization, capacity building network, technology transfer, and policy integration. This scaling strategy transforms the Bluefields project from a single community initiative into a regional movement for climate resilience, amplifying impact while respecting the unique characteristics and needs of each participating community. So there's a call to action. In transforming Caribbean coastal resilience, the Bluefields Climate Smart and Resilient Settlement Project demonstrates that innovative technology, when coupled with genuine community participation and collaborative partnership, can create transformative solutions to climate challenges facing Caribbean coastal community. The time for action is now. Climate change impacts are accelerating, but so are our capabilities to respond effectively. The Bluefields model provides a proven pathway for building resilience, a resilient coastal community that protect lives, preserve livelihoods, and promote sustainable development throughout the Caribbean. So partner with us. Join the growing network of organizations supporting the community center climate resilience across the Caribbean region. Invest in innovation. Support scalable climate technology that deliver measurable impact in vulnerable coastal communities. Advocate for change. Promote policies and funding mechanisms that prioritize community-driven adaptation and sustainable coastal development. So in summary, we are now looking at the digital twin platform, which is a regional replicable model. We have developed a regional replicable digital twin model of Bluefields. It's also it also integrates data where it integrates 3D spatial data, real-time, GIS tool, and scenario simulation. It's a risk visualization, support visualization and prediction of risks such as flooding, landslides, storm surge, and sea level rise. So in risk scenario modeling, we show the flooding from storm surge, landslide in steep inland zone, coastal erosion due to sea level rise, hurricane impact, and on infrastructure. It's a community-informed mapping. So we had satellite imagery, high resolution, drone, LiDAR information. We have oral history, where the local knowledge and experience is a part of the digital twin, and also real-time data. We have current environmental condition. There is a risk map, which is a comprehensive visualization tool. So maps produced guided by real-time data, oral history, and satellite imagery. Then there is the mobile app and the geo portal. So the mobile application creates a mobile GIS app for access to risk data, enabling community members to interact with spatial risk data on demand and provide real-time updates and alert about potential hazard. On the geoportal side, we have develop a comprehensive online platform for planners and officials, offers detailed visualization of climate risk scenario, and support evidence-based decision making for community resilience. In summary, again, we have over 20 persons, 20 individuals who were trained, over 5 training workshops done during the process, and over 4 different sectors that were engaged in the creation of the digital twin. Also, we had the public-private partnership framework through partnership MOU, which is a formal agreement, long-term sustainability, ensuring continued platform operation, and scaling potential, which replication in other coastal settlement. Also, it gives us strengthened local planning where you have real-time data, which is continuous monitoring of environmental conditions, threat modeling, simulation of potential hazard, and informed planning, which is evidence-based decision-making, and implementation is a resilience measure deployment. Real-time spatial data empowers residents and officials to model threats and plan accordingly. With all of this, there are some critical gaps such as data integration. So where we have the community knowledge, the generation of local environmental observation, persons living in the community for 50 or 100 years, formal planning, we have the official development framework and regulation, they have the scientific data, they have the research finding and technical measures, and the platform integrates the gap. We have where there is lack of system connecting these knowledge sources. The system now collects and integrate the data. So in ending this webinar, I leave this last words with you, that effective resilience is not just about planning for risk. It's about empowering people with the tools, knowledge, and partnership to shape their own future. future. I'll say it again. Effective resilience is not just about planning for risk. It's about empowering people with the tools, the knowledge, and partnerships to shape their own future. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Hopeton Ferguson. That was truly an insightful presentation. I'm sure that all of us can agree that that was, beneficial. It was a lot to digest, but it was properly dissected. So at this time, we'll have our Q&A session. So the floor will be open. Any question that you may have, just type it in the chat and we'll answer it accordingly. Okay, 10 more seconds. Oh, we have a question. All right. So I'm seeing we have a question here for you, Hopeton. It says, how long rather did it take for your project to be considered completed before you said internally that you have reached the maintenance stage?
All right, thank you for that question. So the project has been through quite a number of phases, started in 2023. There are a number of activities that took place and some constraints along the way. So the project, because of the scaling up factor, there is a lot more that can be done on the project. However, this would take place in the scaling up factor of the project. So scaling is very important. The digital twin is a live document, which means that it's constantly updating. There is not just a one go at this project, but it's a continuous improvement on the project because it's live. Then you, data will have to be fed into it on a consistent basis, and new applications develop as required. But in terms of project state, the project actually ended in June of this year. Thank you for that question.
All right, great stuff. Thank you for that, Hopeton. So we have about 10 more seconds if you have any questions, additional questions. Okay, so I'm seeing two questions here. The first one is very interesting tech. So regarding integrating with the community, I am aware there's a rainwater catchment project that's operating out at that same Bluefields Community Association. How does this project integrate with that?
All right, so there are quite a number of projects that we would have utilized information from. Unfortunately, the rainfall catchment is it's even though it is not in the project just yet, but that's useful data for the project, because what it means is that data, historical data, new data, all different types of data will project actually pull in all of those information. So that is something that I'm happy to hear about that can be a part of this project. So the answer is no, it's not, but it's something that we'll definitely look at. Thank you.
Okay, so we have two final questions here. One from Daniel Duncan, which reads, what was the most difficult constraint in carrying out this project? Was GeoAI used, considered at any point in the analysis of the imagery? Were leaders of the community selected to help other members understand how to use the platform? So what are your Hopeton?
Okay, that's a very good question, Daniel. Thanks for that one. So to answer, short answer, most difficult, finance. I guess you know that already. But in all of that, then the project had to go on. Community members were trained, number of training sessions, not just the community members, the school, the municipal corporation, and of course, by the community benevolent society, you have different groups such as businesses, the church, quite a number of different representatives from different groups. So training was a very important part of that. So at least they can continue. And of course, training is a continuous thing. It's not something that is a one time. So, for the sustainability of it, there would be more training for the community.
Okay, thank you for that. And the final one we have here from Frederick Garden, which asks, who is charged with maintaining the project? Is it the community?
So as mentioned, that it's a partnership, a MOU with government stakeholders, community. So there are different groups forming that MOU that would be responsible for maintaining the project. So for example, the community would basically be living in the area, so they can provide information on a daily basis, on a very regular basis. The private sector can assist with financing. The municipal corporation will assist with data and with the whole planning process and so on. So it is not a one-man approach. It is multiple level approach, which is very important to the sustainability of this project. Thank you for that question.
All right, so those are indeed some great questions. And I do thank you, everyone who participated, and thank you to Hopeton for those insightful answers. So in closing, we just want to thank Hopeton again for that insightful presentation. And we want to thank everyone who participated in this insightful webinar with the topic Bluefields Climate Smart and Resilient Assessment. So if you'd like to learn more or revisit today's discussion, please stay tuned for a follow-up email, or you can contact Hopeton. His information is here, VP Geospatial at spatialvision.com. And it was truly a pleasure, guys. So on behalf of the Spatial Innovision family, I want to thank you again for your participation, and you do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again.